Hey guys, Shabbat TLK back, and we're back here with the final episode of our script analysis for Lion King 2, Simba's Pride of the um, 10/4/96 script. It's been a long journey. I'm sure you guys are wondering how this all ends, and yeah, without further ado, we'll get into it. I will also mention this video is going to be longer because there will be also some analysis at the end of the pitch notes that I also have from this guy, Wendell Washer, who commented on what they should be adding in a meeting and wrote pitch notes of what to pitch to the executives of what should be changed, what his thoughts were, and what possibly was discussed in that meeting. We'll get into that when we get to it. For now, we're going to start with where we left off to finish. So here we have page, let me just find a thing to get in. We have page 80 of the script, as you see here. And as you remember, we finished off with Simba and Zira squaring off. Sorry, another cold. He made this very interesting comment. But anyway, moving on to our new content. So here we go. We're going to start with page 81, finish up with page 88. So Simba and Nala square off. The world hits glue. Time stretches, turning to slow-mo. Simba and his rival exchange blows, dodging and attacking while, that means they're fighting each other. In the film they don't actually fight, but here they are. Very interesting. Pumbaa is charging an outsider like a mad bull. The outsider is toying and sidestepping, matador style. Timon on Pumbaa's back is getting frustrated as the pig zips back and forth and back. Pumbaa, get him! Bite his shin. I hate that. They're getting nowhere when Zazu flies up. He dive bombs the outsider, shucking and jiving, and making a nuisance of himself. The lion claws, misses. Soon he's on his hind legs, swatting at Zazu, who backs him up, and the lion trips over Pumbaa, crouching ottoman-like behind him. The lion goes down, slamming hard into the muddy earth. His lights go out. Since he's unconscious, Timon jumps on him. Take that, and Simba and Zira are in the midst of a mortal combat. He slashes hard, sending Zira into the mud. He readies for the final attack as he was going to finish off Zira, wow. Two lion silhouettes drop into his path, one facing him, the other Zira. It's so dark they are nothing more than menacing threats. Shadowed and strange as Simba raises a claw to strike, lightning flares, flashing the world in pure bright light, revealing that Aisha is blocking her father. Aisha, yells Simba. There's no hate in her eyes, no anger, only a calm certainty. Zira looks up from the ground to see Kovu standing before her in the flickering light. Move. But he won't, and Simba looks directly at his daughter. Stand aside. But she doesn't move. I can't, Daddy. And for a few moments, the battleground freezes. The fighting stops at this unexpected move. Both sides are coiled, ready to counterstrike at the first spark. But for a few heartbeats, they wait to see where the chips will fall. Tension is on a hair trigger, as Aisha nods toward Kovu. I love him, she says. Simba slams his eyes shut, not in surprise, but in frustration. Vitani looks down, as if kicked in the guts, her worst fears confirmed. Zira is still spitting fire at her rebellious son. You know that we'll kill you too. Yeah, Kovu knows. And yet you came back. For her, Kovu replies simply. Zira nearly choking on the words. For love? Love hasn't... It's a little blur here, sorry about that, guys. Love hasn't kept you alive. Vengeance has made you who you are. Hate has made us outsiders, replies Kovu. I chose a different path. The outsiders stop. They are convinced, but they're listening. Aisha turns on her father and... Bring them home, she simply says. I can't. They are them? Us? A wise king once told me, We are one. She looks at her father, student and teacher. The roles reversed now. Doesn't that all apply to all? Aren't we all part of the circle of life? Replies Asha. Simba turns quietly to Nala. How can I betray my father? If I forgive, Aisha says that, Daddy, we are only more than we are. If each of us is more than we are. Interesting. The final straw. He has healed. Simba's heart nearly bursts with pride for his daughter. Nala beams. Timon and Pumbaa. Words. Timon and Pumbaa are blown. Again, this is where I'm sorry about being a little blurry. Are blown away, and the outsiders are actually listening to a new philosophy. But Zara is not. She turns to Vitani now, but Vitani just stares for a moment. The woman's scorned. Does this ring true? I mean, buddy. Character development, I get it, but jeez, okay. Anyway, then slowly joins Kovu, opposing Zira. Zira's blood goes into the red zone. So this is a little bit interesting how she's still, but I mean, I guess there's still a philosophy to that, but again, I see his point in a way. Goes into the red zone. Betrayed. If you will not fight, then you will die as well. She locks eyes with Kovu. So be it. Here. Slowly, one by one, other outsiders lose the will to fight and join the other side. Even he's wondering why. Why are they suddenly joined now? Same point we wonder. Zira goes ballistic, eyes turning to brimstone. She bellows rage and attacks Simba, but no. Aisha leaps up to intercept the blow. Wham! She slams into Zira, and the two go plunging over the ridge into. We're going to get down to that in a minute. He's right here. He's going to say, this is missing. Setup, payoff. Does this make sense? Just magic? They cave in? Okay. Fair points, and it's sad that they didn't even listen to these points, but fair. We're going to keep going. The Antelope Gorge. Plunging over the ridge into the Antelope Gorge. Head over heels, they bounce off the rocky walls in a tangle of legs and fur. Aisha! Kovu yells. Splash! They plunge into the knee-deep floodwater running swiftly through the gorge, because remember, we have the flooding rains, etc., and the dam being pushed to its limits. Zira pounces, attacking the little vixen that ruined her plans. Savage, brutal. Aisha defends herself as best as she can while, on the ridge, Simba and Kovu are trying to find their way into the gorge. The girls did it, why can't the boys? Damn, okay, man. Alright, anyway, trying to find their way into the gorge. The walls are too steep. It's a suicide drop. That's why circles go plunging over. It's a suicide drop. Well, they apparently survived, so why can't you just drop? Okay, fair. They hinge forward. Loose rocks are kicked free, falling into the growing river below as... The logjam from the ashlands is straining under the pressure of the water. The dam bursts. Building behind, the dam has risen to the top and begins flowing over the blockade. With a final shudder, the dam breaks, and a deafening roar of timber and raw power. A tsunami wave of water blasts down the ravine, pushing the tangled logs before it. Dead twigs before a runaway bulldozer. The wave blasts through the ditch and connects with the tributary, leading directly into the far end of the Antelope Gorge. The tidal flow gains strength and speed, charging down the gorge. Simba and others see the fear from their vantage point, and Aisha! She turns to see the wave, barreling toward her, logs churning like a meat grinder under the force of rushing water. Zira goes bug-eyed, and both she and Aisha leap for the walls of the gorge. Aisha snagging a tree root, grabs. That's what he's trying to show. Zira several feet below her, clinging to the loose rocks. The wave is steamrolling this way. Aisha tries to climb, then looks back to Zira. Come on. I'm going to read these in a second. I'm going to read everything first. She offers a leg to help, but Zira's hate is too great. The lioness hisses and slashes, hoping to bring down the princess. But Aisha recoils her leg, and Zira hits rock. Loose pebbles fall, and Zira loses her grip. She slides downward in a death scream that splits the night just as wham! The wave hits, and Zira is dragged under, chopped into the agitator logs, and whisked away, gone forever. Oh, geez. Okay, so we're gonna read this comment here. Didn't have her draw back her leg. Don't have her draw back her leg. Have Zira dig in. She starts. Oh, so he's trying to alter this. Okay. She starts climbing up her, slashes at her grip. Aisha loses her grip. They both fall. Okay, and then it hits here. Hang on to the wall. Hang on. Hang it on the wall. Lol. Okay. Aisha, hang on the wall. Okay. A log smashes Zira, but misses Aisha, teeter-totters down, gets under Aisha, flings her up to safety. Zira's claw spasms in the water. Okay, I see. So that was a way they could have done it, but they didn't. But we're going to continue. So Zira is swept under the water. But the water is rising fast now. It's up to Aisha's feet and still climbing. She's got nowhere to go. And, Daddy, Simba can't wait. He starts the kamikaze climb down the sides of the gorge. He's moving down, closer, but he can't reach. He extends his paw to his daughter. She reaches for him. They're not going to make it. The water is up to Aisha's waist now, and the current pulls violently. They lock eyes. Simba needs a few more feet. He's not going to get it, and... Simba? The king turns to see Kovu standing above him. Except Simba's rump faces Kovu next touch. Alright. The moment replays nearly identical to Scar's murder of Mufasa, so we're seeing a vision, a quick flashback in the moment. Simba's defenselessness hanging on the wall of a cliff, because again, Kovu's right behind him, he could. A deadly torrent below, and Scar's protege safely above him, holding his life in the balance. Kovu's holding Simba? I guess it worked for Aladdin. Trust me, is what Kovu wrote. It worked for Aladdin. That's funny. Simba thinks, looks to his daughter, debris racing by in the breakneck current below. It's like looking down on a herd of stampeding animals. The water roars, sounding exactly like the thundering hooves of the runaway wildebeests. Simba looks down and, a memory flash of Mufasa falling to his death among the stampeding wildebeests is instantly replaced by Aisha hanging on the cliff. Ooh, man, okay. The image is almost identical. Tell me how. Simba looks up to Kovu and, a memory flash of Scar murdering his father is instantly replaced by Kovu. So we got some PTSD scenes here. Very cool. Very cool. And the image is very different. He nods once. Kovu swings at Ashen, driving his claws into Simba's back legs. Right. Simba howls in agony. Hang on! And pinning Simba's legs to the stone wall, he begins to lower the king. Yeah, but who's holding Kovu? Lower, but the water's coming up higher. Aisha's up to her neck. She reaches for her father just another few inches, and the water swells over her head, swallowing her whole. In a final desperate plunge, Simba's paw goes underwater and pulls up his daughter. Working like a team, Kovu backs slowly up, loose rocks raining down, but 5 seconds later, all three are finally lying on top of the ridge of the gorge. Sighs of relief all around. Hugs, laughter, celebration. Now that was really brave, replied Pumbaa. I was gonna do that, replied Timon. I wish they included that. That's way better than the line we got in the end. And we're gonna keep going. Simba stands and turns to his pride and the outsiders. Let's go home. And as they do, a slow procession back to the Pride Rock. The outsiders slowly filter in among the pride, two groups becoming one. Our land still barren and wasted in the falling rain. We hold then, match dissolve. Here's the last page, guys. Oh my gosh. To the outlands, spring day. The rain is gone and the sun shines brightly. Grass grows, flowers and trees bloom. Antelope and elephants wander the plains. The circle of life has returned. The wound on the Pride lands has healed. At Pride Rock, Simba and the lionesses lie on the warm rocks. The outsiders are scattered among them in circular formation. But the hoop is incomplete. Simba nods and Kovu and Aisha take their place among the Pride. Only when Kovu and Aisha join, the circle is finally complete. And that is the end of the 10-4-96 script, believe it or not. You just make a comment here. Make this dramatic. Make this a satisfying visual, right? We begin and end with no song. Facts. Except because we didn't also have He Lives in You at the beginning. You're here. He suggests some interesting lyrics to kind of suggest a song that could be played. May I just suggest a song that we begin and end? May I suggest that we begin and end with a song? Perhaps one about the power of love in the heart. Okay, this isn't great. We'll see what happens. It's kind of interesting. I'm going to read it like a poem, though. Love conquers hate. Forgiveness drives out fear. Gentleness and kindness. And the one that calls you dear. Alone no more. With those you love. With those around you near. The sky above looks down. But life is here. Eye to eye. Look to those who love you here. Interesting little, I guess, song lyrics. I guess, like, he's trying to formulate lyrics. I don't know what he's doing there. But, yeah, that's the script. And that's his little comment at the end. Now we're going to get to his pitch notes, which are very interesting. These are the pages which he wrote his notes on. I'm just going to go through them quickly because we have his full typed up notes, which was his draft. So these were formulated on 10/11/96 after reading the script version. And we have now the typed version of it, which I will go through right now. And he's added a little bit more in the typed version too. So those were like his little notes, and he added a lot more. That's why we're going to read these. Right here. Lion King 2, incest-free version of 10/4/96, notes by Wendell Washer. So it's awesome to have the notes along with this. Here's an idea for a dramatic shock at the end of our film. Kovu has been told all of his life by Zira that he is Scar's son, and she's been beating him up with this fact, insisting that he's really no good, just like his father. At the end of the film, we have a poignant death scene in which Zira is dying and whispers to Kovu, "You are not really Scar's son." So he's envisioning that we possibly do this scene where she says that to Kovu during the end. So it wasn't, but it was talked. This was something talked about, I guess, in the meeting. This is what it's gonna be in this. This is stuff that was talked about probably when they were doing a story meeting, and then him writing notes and stuff. And then a huge, powerful, majestic lion from distant pride territory comes up and says, "Kovu, I am King Regandi. I've been searching for you from the time you were stolen as a cub. Finally, I found you. You are my son." So what he's doing is actually envisioning setting up a third Lion King movie, which is interesting. He's actually, because again, this movie, they didn't know how it was going to be a direct-to-video release. Originally, it was meant for theatrical. So they were thinking about, we'll do a third film, which obviously never happened. And this obviously did not go as grandiose as I guess he might have imagined or other people might imagine. But there we go. Anyway, it says right here. And then, perhaps it would make sense for Zira to choose an offspring from strong stock to be her chosen hatchet man. In The Lion King, I, Scar, admitted that when it comes to brute strength, I'm afraid I'm the shallow end of the gene pool. Wow, he's quoting Lion King to make his points. And it's sad because a lot of his points are valid and things that fans have, like I said, talked about, like stuff like that. And, Disney just ignored them. So, I guess, yeah, I mean, this guy pretty much reflects what people have talked about. We're going to keep going, though. We could make King Regandi look like Mufasa with a black mane, sort of like Scar on steroids. Yeah, misspelled here. It is a typo. Kovu could then be reasonably. It's weird because he says Kuvu too in his handwriting. I don't know. Reasonably physically powerful by the laws of genetics, and legitimately a more suitable mate for royalty by reason of this bloodline. So he's actually even going further and saying that Kovu. I don't know why he's spelling like that, but if you notice this note, he does too. But Kovu could essentially be, fine with Simba then at the end too. I mean, because you got to remember, it is still royalty. But he's saying that if you did this way, you could also still make it work. Which again is still a little bit interesting, but we're gonna keep going. We could have Kovu and Aisha join King Regandi in the Pride territory and show it as being huger and vaster and more splendid than the Pride lands, with gigantic snow-covered mountains, intense waterfalls, and rich, thick rainforests. This guy's dreaming. Like, wow. It's funny because we do get all these things in the line. I gotta wonder if Lion Guard used some of this unknown stuff they probably talked about. A lot of these things to their advantage with the story. I would assume they probably did. But I'm gonna keep going. We could make our film bigger, extend our horizons, open out our vision to an even broader vista. So again, this is just showing that he and probably other people within this production are trying to think of like, man, we can make this so much bigger. But then what we get is, the final version of the film. We're gonna keep going. Maybe we could even have an overarching setup by having a Dark Knight sequence at the beginning. showing sleeping lions all in a silhouette, dramatic and eerily lit, and we see a lion cub being stolen. But maybe there would be too much of a screen time gap between the setup and payoff at the end of the film to avoid frustrating the audience at the beginning of the film and confusing them at the end if they have forgotten this opening. In fact, this setup may not be really necessary, as it would diminish the effect of the surprise shock ending. What do you think? So he's pitching this idea, which is really interesting. This is basically him, again, pitching an idea of how to improve the script to the executives. Very fascinating. Now another version right here. Let me put again. This is actually interesting. So this one is the incest-free version of 1096 pitch notes, revised 101496. Actually, these are the pitch notes last time. They've been revised of 101496, so he probably had more stuff to add that he ended up adding in. And this is what's coming into it. Let's see. And this is probably after they had meetings, if I had to guess. I don't know. I appreciate the concentrated effort on the part of the writers to get these revised scripts out quickly. The comedy bits with Timon and Pumbaa are funny, nicely written. However, isn't it true that the screenplay should also be able to stand alone without depending on an earlier work? Man, spitting facts. And be complete in and of itself, even if it is a sequel? Many people will be purchasing this video. Okay, now it's understood that it is a video. This video as their first video. And it couldn't there be some way to make, because this was one of the first animated releases on video, and couldn't there be some way to make sure that it would stand out on its own? Okay, still spitting facts. So, I think this is the time actually when it was supposed to be, because it was originally supposed to be on theatrical. Then I think they're going to do theatrical and video, and then they changed it to video. I think this might be when they changed it to video, but again, they're still trying to, make this. I think he still has the idea of we should be grandiose film still, because this is Lion King. And I do agree with that. We're going to keep going. Following each question are a few typical examples out of many. This list only covers a few of many such questions, which I wish he'd written them all down because I would love to explore them all, but we're just going to get these couple. Example, page 58, Ashley and Savannah Day. Simba has just finished a story. I've never heard the story of Scar that way. So if you can always remember that part in the script, you can go back and find it. Could we do something here, or perhaps early in the script, so that the audience will be able to see what had gone on earlier concerning Scar and the others? So backflashes, essentially, which we do actually end up getting. So this actually is something I believe that is a point that he makes that actually does kind of hold true eventually in the final version. But going on. Example, page 69. You will never be Mufasa. How does she know? Would the name Mufasa have any meaning to her? Isn't it true that she never even saw Mufasa because he had died long before she was born? Is there some way that we could show how Aisha knows about Mufasa and that he means something to her? Could we show her something of her learning about Mufasa earlier in the script, perhaps even at the very beginning of the film, as part of the action that introduces Aisha to the audience? I mean, man is spitting facts that we've all been, yes. Keep going. Wouldn't you say that a screenplay must have a structure that starts with a setup of the situation, which is then followed later in the story by a payoff? Setup, payoff? Is there some way we could see to it that this script accomplishes this consistently and repeatedly with regard to every event in the story? There are many things that simply occur out of the blue, it's true, with no reestablished rhyme or reason. Man, spin fact still. Wouldn't it be more satisfying to the audience if we anticipated future events by establishing their elements early in the story? I mean, it should be. Example, page 84. I love how he's providing examples. Slowly, one by one, other outsiders lose the will to fight and join the other side. Why? Magic? They just cave in? Couldn't we agree that the basic rules of entertainment stated in 4 words is never bore your audience? Man, if Disney knew that today. I don't know. If only Disney took that to heart. Okay, we're going to keep going. And isn't it true that a really fast way to bore your audience is to use exposition, such as having a narrator or character just talking as if reading from a book or speech? Dialogue is a wonderful way to convey information, as it can be used to reveal personalities. I am not referring to dialogue here. Oh man, that oof, whew, man is preaching to the cause. My God, love this guy. Our story starts out. Rafiki spends 1.25 pages just talking. When it is true that he is referring to his chalk drawings on the wall, I wonder, is there some other way to convey the intended information to the audience in a clear, interesting, and visually exciting manner? We're doing film, aren't we? Isn't it better to show events rather than talk about them? Couldn't we possibly allow ourselves to use flashbacks? Okay, they end up doing this is something they do end up doing. It's good. We could do a new animation of scenes from Lion King 1 from new points of view. Oh my god, why didn't they do that? Ugh. Okay. It's me and my fan being why. Anyway, as if through the eyes of different characters. Maybe Nala? Couldn't this lend itself to an interesting approach, which, while referring to back to the earlier film, adds more layers of information in an interesting manner, being new while at the same time being familiar, and allowing our current project to stand out on its own as a film? Woo. And here we go. He's going to drop the bomb with this. Walt Disney would spend years determining the best way to introduce a character to the audience. He was careful to show relationships between characters, to tell us about them, and how they relate to each other. Isn't this vital to the advancement of the story? Man, dropping the Walt Disney bomb on them. Wow, that's awesome. Couldn't we agree that it is better to show characters rather than to talk about them? Oh man, this guy's going off. Love it. And couldn't we say that it is better to show relationships rather than to talk about them? And wouldn't it be better if instead of just having someone talk about trouble in the Pride Lands, we could actually see the trouble, actually show characters acting out in some unrest, perhaps have some characters complaining, having trouble finding food, something? Then we could let them talk about how it was good when Simba first came back. And now it's as bad as when Scar was king? Then flashback to Scar ruling with an iron fist, hyenas complaining, Zazu in a cage, and we could see some business, so we knew what it was like. So we're reminded of what Scar was. Okay, that I don't know if like constant flashbacks would have been good or not, but it's an interesting point. I mean, it does again. I see his points. Isn't it good and isn't it good to open and close a film with a status quo established, like in an establishing shot or sequence? Lion King 1 and begins and ends with Circle of Life song, and so the story comes full circle. True. It opens with a depiction of the world of the Lion King, his various animal subjects doing their various animal and creature things, and climaxes with the dedication of the lion cub. At the end of the picture, the song reprises and another cub is dedicated. Isn't this a strong way to make a film? Isn't it good to see and hear the entire theme of the film presented and reiterated? Could we change? Here we go. Could we change the current version of Lion King 2, which begins and ends with no song? Man, it's preaching it. I'm so glad they listened to him. At least they include one song. It begins with a guy talking to himself. That's true. And ends with some animals standing in a circle. Don't we need to establish the theme of the film, to begin the film with a theme and end it with the theme stronger and reinforced? Wouldn't it be good to establish the theme in a stirring song? Okay, this fact I'm actually happy they did change. It's good advice. Because in the current stance, it isn't. This is good feedback. Again, that script we just read. Who is Simba? In The Lion King 1, he is the main character, the hero. He is the one we identify with. He is the one we want to see win, and he does. Couldn't we say that this is a very satisfying? In the first Lion King, I love his. It's awesome. This is why you do research and that kind of thing. You know, this guy knows. Many ideas were suggested and thrown out as not being dramatic or satisfying. There was even a sequence in which Mufasa saves Simba from a flood, but this was thrown out because it was not as visually exciting as the wildebeest stampede. Oh, you fans, remember? Here it is confirmed. Is it really noble, dramatic, and heroic for Aisha and Kovu to fall in the mud? Are we playing this for laughs? Is this what a sequel to The Lion King should be trying for? Don't we want to see someone we can cheer for and sympathize with? Can we develop Aisha more the way Simba was in Lion King 1? Can we see examples of how she is prohibited from the ordinary child exploration by the overprotective smothering cocoon of parental and guardian authority, and how she is being micromanaged? Could we show earlier events in Zira's life to build her emotions so we understand why she feels the way she does about Scar, about Simba, and about Kovu? Thank you. Show Zira's backstory. Why again? Yes. Is there something we could do to clarify Zira's personality? Actually, show more of her. And does she need Kovu to attack Simba? Doesn't she display authority over the outsiders without the aid of a male? Ooh, interesting, man. His words. Couldn't her army of lions just easily overwhelm Simba without Kovu? Could we show more clearly why she has chosen the strategy of using Kovu? Wouldn't it be good to have the hyenas at least have a minor role in the screenplay? There you go for all your hyena lovers. Why? At least to explain where the heck they are now? Yes. In The Lion King 1, the rules are clearly established. The animals have society, with the lions ruling. The hierarchy is clearly in place. Couldn't we develop the characters of Simba and Zazu with events such as the gopher who reports to Zazu and says, "Sir, news from the underground." This is a particular event that shows Zazu also has authority over other creatures. Wouldn't it be good to continue this structure of authority because it is so firmly established in the first film? God, so many valid points from this guy. Stuff that they just didn't. Yeah. Don't we know who these people are? By the way, they speak to and treat each other. We don't have to explain everything. Isn't it better just to let their actions explain who and what they are? We established the rule of arranged royal marriages. Zazu tells the cub Simba and Nala they are betrothed. Doesn't this imply that in Lion King 2, Aisha must be betrothed to some male cub somewhere? Well, again, maybe Simba did change that law, as he said, but we're going to continue as if he didn't. Or did Simba change the rules? Again, I got ahead of myself. Shouldn't the rules be clarified as they were by Zazu talking to young Simba and Nala in Lion King 1, or perhaps in some other way? Perhaps Mother Nala explains it to young Aisha, or perhaps Daddy Simba joins them and gets flustered and embarrassed trying to explain it to his daughter. Could we show that Simba in some way has difficulty relating to his daughter? In all of Disney's films, the main character, again, written to Walt Disney, the main character always has friends to relate to. Isn't the easiest way to learn about a character to show relationships? For example, Cinderella and her mice, and then the fairy godmother, Dumbo and his mother, and then Timothy the mouse, and the crows. Who are Aisha's friends? There's nobody for her to talk to. Even Little Mermaid had Flounder to befriend her. Shouldn't Aisha have someone to talk to? Perhaps even imaginary friends like Quasimodo's gargoyle friends? Damn, this guy is putting some real facts into this. That is one thing I do agree with him on, like very strongly. I think Aisha should have had someone else but again, I'm gonna continue. Or Kiara later on, obviously. Couldn't we say that this is vital for the main character to have recognizable and realizable goal, so that when she achieves this goal, the audience will immediately know it just by seeing it? What is Aisha's goal? How will we know when she achieves it? How will we see when she achieves her goal? And isn't it also true that the main character also have a hidden inner need, which will be achieved and will result in a change in the character as he learns a vital life lesson and becomes different in some profound way? Aisha has a need of a friend, and she finds Kovu. Is there some way to strengthen the believability of their relationship? What qualities are present in Kovu and in Aisha that we see right away that tell us that these two people are meant for each other? They're from two different worlds, and this is clear, but where are their similarities? Why should they like each other? Why should Aisha like anybody for that matter? She's never shown having anyone she relates to in a loving way. How do we see that? And she even can? Who are Nuka and Vitani here? So here's the point of where they didn't actually know what they're doing with Nuka and Vitani. So here we go. This is probably the start of like why they changed them. Are they really necessary to the advancement of the story? Could they possibly have a? Oh, here we go. Could they possibly have a love interest with each other? Interesting. Was Vitani introduced to be the potential love interest for Kovu? Could we pick one theme? Could we pick one theme for these characters and develop it, or omit them from the story? Time constraints prevent my going into detail on these and many more points at this time. Please forgive the fact that these ideas are undeveloped, immediately jotted down, and I would say ranted too. We are all concerned for the quality of this project as a long format film, and be assured that I mean no disrespect by my questions and comments. Okay. And I look forward to working on the project with you all. Thank you for your time and consideration. So that is how you do a note. My goodness. Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm going to leave that to you guys in the comments. I really hope you guys enjoyed that series and enjoyed this guy's pitch notes and his notes throughout the script and the script end itself. Unfortunately, we have come to an end of this series. Now, perhaps maybe more things will be talked about in the future. Perhaps more surprises that I can't discuss right now. But as for right now, that's the end of the 10-496 script and pitch notes resulting. Thank you guys so much for watching this series. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, any questions and comments of the series as a whole or the movie as you see it in the script as a whole, please leave down in the comments. And yeah, anything you'd like me to comment. And again, I will comment back to everyone I can. I really hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you guys all on the next video. And hopefully by then, the Mufasa Lion King trailer will be dropped. And we can discuss that. Alright. Stay tuned. Please like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next video.